you get a sense of how different people are going to hear your message, you're going to be able to make a better delivery of your message. Right now, the people who communicate about science are absolutely tone deaf about how deep religious believers are hearing what they say. What IBCSR is doing will help change that.
We've got 3 missions. One is outreach, to try and communicate what religion is in the light of its interdisciplinary study to the general public, to reporters, to religion scholars, and to other scientists. And we've been doing that quite happily for quite a while.
Religion, Brain, and Behavior, or RBB, is a journal that focuses, it's a multidisciplinary approach to the biology of religion. And so it seeks to integrate investigations into religion and its associated phenomena.
It puts together religion with a whole bunch of things that appear in other journals. That's its main difference. So you can find something on cognitive science in another journal, but we do cognitive science and religion. You could find something on neurology in another journal, but we do neurology and religion.
RBB is a relatively recent emergence onto the scene. It's been in operation for 4 years now. We're on our 4th volume.
In a young field, you really need opportunities for discussion like that, where you've got the leading people internationally commenting on something important, because it consolidates people's ideas and it gives people a common vocabulary.
There's already been some work done in Religion, Brain, and Behavior on the types of environments that seem to predispose individuals toward more violent behavior. And of course, with our cultural climate as it is, and that the increasing concerns about global terrorism, this becomes a more pressing, becomes an increasingly pressing concern, and one that we seem to be able to gain some traction on resolving, with greater understanding.
We think of it as, I think it's fair to say, the flagship journal in the area of the biocultural study of religion. And we publish a whole bunch of different kinds of articles, basically anything within the biocultural framework, which includes a lot of different things.
My science background is a little unconventional also. I actually was an English major in undergraduate, and I studied creative writing, which I now use to write in a popularly accessible way about the scientific and evolutionary and cultural study of religion.
The Institute produces other things that are ideally suited for people who are trying to get into it for the first time. One of the main things we do is to produce something called Science on Religion. We've got scienceonreligion.org, and we have a Science on Religion blog at pathos.com.
It's a pop science website where we write short, kind of poppy articles on forthcoming research in the scientific study of religion, specifically the biological and evolutionary studies of religion.
And Science on Religion breaks down the cutting-edge research for the general public. Our imagined target audience is the journalist who writes on religion, who writes on science, or maybe both, and who wants something to say about what cutting-edge research is.
Our job with scienceonreligion.org is to present this frankly super exciting research to the educated lay public in a way that's accessible and entertaining without dumbing it down.
But that's fabulous for anyone who's trying to get into this field. Just read those articles and everything's explained so clearly and so beautifully, and it can change the way you think about religion and spirituality and really change the way you think about your own life.
And this is part of IBCSR's outreach efforts. This is one of the things that we do, is make sure that we're trying to spread real knowledge about religion, both within the academy and in the public.
It's the neatest, cleanest, clearest way to go deep in the understanding of the scientific study of religion.
ExploringMyReligion.org is a website that is maintained by IBCSR to offer dozens of instant feedback research surveys to the public that get at different aspects of your religious life. So you can go to this website and find out, in what areas of religion are you more liberal, or in which areas of religion are you a little bit more conservative or moderate? You get this feedback as soon as you finish the survey.
We built exploringmyreligion.org to host surveys for all of our different research projects. This site is an instant feedback survey site, so after you take any given survey, you get your results fed back to you on a web page. They give you graphs and they explain what your results mean. So it's actually quite educational for people, and it's spreading quite quickly as a result.
There are a lot of other surveys on the site, from everything from cognitive style surveys to reports of your most profound religious experiences, to surveys that investigate what type of spiritual style you have or what kind of personality style you have. And all of this data helps you to build up a personal profile so you can understand better how your spiritual life and your religious life work.
Hopefully what we're doing at the IBCSR is, especially with these types of surveys, is picking up on something interesting that's interesting to us. We have our sort of research agenda, but in a sense, we also want it to be to give feedback to the person so that they can learn a little bit about themselves, perhaps realize like, oh, well, that makes sense of why my spirituality is this way, and my wife or my husband or my friend is on a very different level, but also a very deeply spiritual person, and to try to understand that and learn about it. And it's kind of fun to see the graphs too.
One of the other outreach things we try to do is to produce books that are generally accessible, and we produce 2 trios of books. One of them is Science and the World Religions. That's the one that's most recently appeared. This is a fairly adventurous survey across the world's religions, looking at how science helps you understand the religions better. The other one is Where God and Science Meet, which is more about cognitive science of religion, neuroscience and religion. But it's intended for a reasonably general audience. So it's another type of outreach.
The IBCSR Research Review is a monthly newsletter that comes out that lists all of the articles that have come out in the previous month. Anything that has to do with the scientific study of religion, whether from neuroscientific points of view, things that have to do with the evolutionary study of religion, as well as all of the research that has to do with the way that religion does or does not affect health. The IBCSR Research Review is the only thing of its kind as far as I know. It's up to date every single month for all of the scientific study of religion across fields. There's no other place like it. The benefit of the Research Review for people who are interested in this field is they can skim it every month and say, here's an article that pertains exactly to the work that I'm doing. I need to know about this article, or see what issues are arising in their field. We're trying to act as a resource for everyone who is involved in the scientific study of religion.
The model of science is to explain something in a language that's supposed to be understood. But there also is the approach to religion where you understand it. Explanation is part of that, but understanding is knowing your way around religion, being able to grasp connections, to enhance the feeling of what's important in religion. And that's where humanities come in, and the arts, and so forth. So in IBCSR, although our research is of the scientific sort, we want to be sure that that doesn't distort the presentation of religion, which has many dimensions beyond what is easily lifted up in the current methods of scientific analysis.
Being able to show people, here's the work that I'm doing in conversation with contemporary science and with contemporary philosophy, and it's a way that feeds my faith and feeds my vocation, and you can do it too. You shouldn't be afraid of asking any of the hard questions.